Good morning, Cardinals fans. We're back for another edition of This Week in Ball State Sports. The Cardinals are everywhere, and we have Adrian Wheatley, the head track and field coach, joining us here in Studio B Live on WMUN. Coach, appreciate your time as always. We'll have Kirsten Rich joining us as well. From an operations standpoint, a lot going on that side. We'll get to men's volleyball and much more. But, Coach, awesome. You are here, and you've got quite a few things going on right now. Your time is slipping away with your free time, and now more and more time put toward the MAC Track and Field Championships. That's at the top of mind.
Yep,
that's coming up fast.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Like I said, it's an exciting time right now. Like I said, we've got the MAC Championships are here in a couple weeks, and we're all in it right now. You know, we're really excited to have an opportunity to host. You know, get fellow team conference teams here on campus, and our goal is to put on a highly competitive championship experience for our student athletes.
There's a lot of work that goes into building a championship and hosting a championship. From an operations standpoint, what's it been like for you, for Ball State, to host this thing?
Sure. I know I don't have a lot of hair. You probably can't see that there, but it's turning gray and gray as we go. Again, there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of different units that are coming together to put on this championships. I think one of the things that has been really exciting is that everybody's stepping up and being a part of the team, right? And I think good things happen when you've got units and different people that are willing to really put forth their best effort and their best work to put on a championship for us. And again, I know our student athletes are super excited. We talk about it all the time. It's just a great experience to have that there. So.
And the dates on that, as we're sitting here, May 14 through 16, correct. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all day, every day.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be good. So, if you've never been to a track and field meet, it's, there's a lot of things going on. We'll have stuff that's happening in the middle, our throws area, and we'll have stuff on the track. And, at times it's kind of like a three-ring circus there. So there'll be a lot going on. Come out and watch. And
when does the first event start on that Thursday? It's in the morning.
It is, correct. I believe the first event starts at 10 o'clock with the hammer throw.
Okay,
so
perfect.
That's the first throwing event, and that'll start the competition off.
And if you haven't seen the hammer throw live before, this is your opportunity to see it at the MAC Championships. Plenty of athletes are going to be involved within this. Do you know the official number of how many?
I don't know the official number, but like I said, we'll have people from all over the conference. We'll have individuals who are nationally ranked that will be that compete here in the MAC and high competitors with our conference. So it's going to be a competitive championship, and like I said, it's going to be fun.
When do the final numbers come in on who's officially going to be in the races and the competitions?
So entries start next Friday. I believe entries start next Friday, and then the final declarations are that Monday morning. Entries will come out, and we'll know who's in and who's not and things of that nature there. So I believe that's the timeline on when we know who's in the meet.
Coach Wheatley here, track and field, joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports live in Studio B. There's a new track on the track as well. New surface has been, how's it been treating the team?
It's been great. It's been great. I mean, we've hosted two competitions since it's been resurfaced, and it's fast. We're excited to be able to get out here and show it off to the rest of the conference. Again, we've had some good feedback on how it's performing and things of that nature in there. So again, we've been able to do that. We've upgraded some of our equipment as well, and just again, we just really want to put on a good show.
That new track has some spring to it.
Yep, absolutely.
You put your foot down, and it's cushiony.
Yeah, exactly. you get in what you put in. So again, if you're hitting the ground, it's coming right back at you. So I think again, it's great. We're excited to have that, and our friends over there at Mondo really did a great job putting it down, and everybody coming together to make that project happen.
As the head coach for track and field and cross country, and now you're hosting a championship, what is time management for you like, in addition to having your family as well? Like, this is a nuts time of year for you.
Well, and it's funny. I talked to someone the other day, and I was like, I have so many irons in the coal right now, and it's bebopping back and forth. And, we were fortunate enough to host the MAC championship for cross country in the fall, a little bit different. The track is a much bigger beast because there's a lot more different units going on and different things happening there. So it's been really, really busy time. And again, I'm trying to be a good husband, a good dad, and all those type of things. I was at a track meet last night with my oldest boy, and my daughter competes this weekend, and so it's just like, yeah, we're in that season and trying to still continue to compete. We're on the road this weekend, so.
So, are you the competitive dad, or are you just like, I coach enough, just go out and have fun?
That's a great question. So again, I am competitive internally. I always, I tell people all the time, it's like, I wouldn't want someone to come into my practice and try to dictate what's going on. So I am a parent. Now, again, are there times when I sit back and, specific example last night, we were getting ready for the 4x4 and we're sitting around. I'm like, dude, when do we go? So I'm like, hey, let's start warming up, so that's the dad / coach in me and things of that nature there. But, again, I allow them to kind of be themselves. And when they want help, they come to it and I provide what they want. But again, I try to be more of a parent than a coach there.
It's a good balance.
It's hard.
You can take the coaching hat off and
Yes.
just say, hey, I'm going to support my family here.
Yes, it's hard. It's hard because, again, I'm super competitive and, my wife's super competitive too. She's like, well, what have you guys been working on? I was like, well, he hasn't asked me about it yet, or she hasn't asked me about it yet. So she's like, well, you need to be out there. And I was like, I can suggest those things, but as we all know, sometimes the information comes better from other people than our own parents. And I could speak from experience,
Coach Silo over here, Dad
Yes,
Silo over
exactly.
here. We'll just leave it at
Yep.
that point. Coach Wheatley joining us here in Studio B on This Week in Ball State Sports. Coach, MAC Track and Field Championships obviously coming up middle of May, but the season as a whole,
Yeah.
you've had a full season
We have,
at
yeah.
this point, from indoor to
Yep.
outdoor.
Yep.
You mentioned you've got some more competitions coming up
Sure.
before the championships. How would you assess where this track and field group is at going into this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, and we've got a good team. We talk all the time. We're small but mighty. And I think again, we've been able to rely on other event areas that maybe we haven't done in the past. And I truly believe we're becoming more and more of a well-balanced team. Again, like I said, we've got some. As of now, again, things could change, but we have potentially 4 individuals that have at least we believe are going to be in the first round of the NCAA championship.
Awesome.
So we're excited about that. And again, obviously, the great thing about that is you can run yourself into the championships. And so again, we say this a lot in our program: if you have a lane, you have a chance. And so again, us trying to continue elevating some of those pieces there. And again, like I said, some things still have to finalize, but this would be the most that we've had since I've been here, which is exciting. We've had a ton of success.
I was about to say, if it's the most you've had since you've been here,
exactly.
that's a good thing.
It's a great thing. We've had a ton of success. It just looks a little bit different, right? And I think that's the cool thing about what we've done is consistently been, identifying the right people and making sure that we are building a championship program to compete, at the conference level, but also at the national level. Again, we want to be a top 25 team. That's our goal as a program and things of that nature.
We have to talk about Kenley.
Yes.
Because she's somebody who started her career elsewhere.
Sure. Yep.
Came in last year and just took the track and field
Yep.
nation by storm, really. Made it to the NCAA's,
Yep.
MAC champion.
Yep.
How has she just injected some life into a situation for her career that really, in her words, was she didn't know what was going to happen?
Sure.
How do
Absolutely.
you describe what that's been like for her?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been fun. I mean, I think again, the exciting thing is she's a competitor, and I believe that, that anybody who knows her knows that she wants to be really good. It's been fun to be able to kind of see her growth and being able to, come into a situation, really not know, again, I knew her when I was at other institutions and had known of her, and so it was really, hey, I'm going to come into a new situation and kind of figure out how to get there. And, I think our staff and our coaching style has provided her an opportunity to really just be herself. She still has big goals. She still wants to be, really, really, really good. And, our jobs as coaches are to, provide those opportunities for those students to really succeed at whatever level that they want to achieve. So it's been fun to kind of watch her in that process. And I know that she, we're getting close to the end of her, collegiate career, but she still has a lot of things that she wants to achieve in that time period.
And the same with Alana Springer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she still has the stuff that she wants to achieve, but she's already achieved a laundry list of stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
How has she impacted this program?
I mean, it's great. We were joking yesterday, she, was part of my first recruiting class when I got here. So it was my first recruiting class. So, got to know her through the recruiting process all the way to, her senior year here. And it's been great, again, and just like any athlete's career, there are ups and downs, but, she's had more ups than downs, and it's just been fun to see her growth. And, we were joking. It's like, hey, man, maybe we can figure out a way to get you another year somewhere and back here and things of that nature, because she's been a huge asset and a staple of our program, especially, kind of the anchor of our sprint program, as a freshman all the way to here now. And, has won a lot of championships and scored a lot of points for us there.
I think we're allowed to tease it because we're the ones who are making it.
Sure.
But there's a fun social media project coming out to preview the MAC Track and Field Championships with Alana Springer and somebody that you just heard from on Steve Lindell's show, President Merns.
Yeah,
that was fun to be around.
It was great. Well, and again, it's like, President Merns is a huge supporter, but he also is a huge supporter of running in that space. He did it in college, still does it. The turkey trot, I still see him running around, things of that nature. And so, again, when you've got a president that really supports, athletics, but has special place in his heart for track and field and cross country, it's always real exciting to see him out there. And again, they did a piece, and him and Alana were out there and doing some things. It was just kind of fun. I can't wait to see when it comes out. I know Alana had fun with it there, and so I sure President Merns had a fun time with it as well.
Sources say, I'm the source.
Yeah. There you go.
The video might drop around May 11th.
Okay, great. I love it.
So the week of the Track and Field Championships.
That's perfect. Yep.
We've got some things working there. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, like
keep
I said,
your eyes out.
We'll keep our eyes out for that, and I know it's gonna be good.
Head coach Adrian Wheatley joining us here in Studio B on This Week in Ball State Sports. We'll have more with Coach when we come back. This Week in Ball State Sports resumes next.
Behind every strong hip and knee, behind every strong shoulder,
good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Welcome back to This Week in Ball State Sports. It's one of our last shows of the academic year, which it's all come together really fast. It's April 30th. Next week is our final one, 9 to 9:30 on Thursday mornings. We'll have all the replays available still, though, wherever you get your podcasts. Just make sure to search This Week in Ball State Sports. We'll have content that flows throughout the summer, but the weekly program will be finalized next week and then resume back in August when the academic year picks right back up. Coach Wheatley stays with us here in Studio B here for a few more minutes. Coach, we were just talking about it with just a couple weeks left of the regular season before the championships start. What do you want to see from this group in these last couple of weekends?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is consistency. We've kind of built some momentum over the last couple of weeks. Again, being an outdoor sport, sometimes the weather becomes a little challenging, and you have to make some adjustments on that. And I continue to challenge the young ladies. This is what championship teams do. They figure out a way to get through maybe the not so optimal situations. And so just continue providing, consistency, making sure that they are taking care of themselves, without finals. We joke they become professional athletes, they're eat, sleeping, and training, and things of that nature. So they do enjoy this time, but we just want to put our best foot forward and be ready to show up at the championships there. So
it makes it interesting when you have all those different dynamics and you kind of forget about the student athlete portion of it when you're focused on the championships. You also remember, this is finals week.
100%.
Like they've got a lot going on. This is a big week for them.
And again, we've got graduations this weekend, and so
also true. Yeah,
we've got graduations. So our seniors will have an opportunity to compete Friday, and then they're coming back and doing graduation. And spending time with their families, and it's kind of the culmination of their career academically is coming to an end, or it's going to a new chapter, with some post, with some graduate and master's programs, things of that nature. So there's a lot of things going on, and so as a staff, we try to make sure that we are understanding of those things and make it a smooth transition for them.
When you look at the overall growth of this program, day one that you walked into today, how would you describe that growth?
I mean, again, I took the program over. It was a program that was a historically ninth place program, over the last several, years. And so when we came in, I wanted to build a championship program. Our goal is to be top 3 in the conference, indoor, outdoor, and cross country. We want to be a top 25 team nationally. And so, again, that mindset is what we really kind of focused on, and we've achieved a lot of those goals. There's still some goals we still have to do,
right? But
we've achieved a lot of those goals. And again, I think it's just being able to have a culture that understands that we're going to work for one another, not just individual. And I think that culture is really bled into everything that we do. And so it's been fun. It's been fun.
It's been awesome to watch the growth and the development of the program.
Sure.
Just because you see faces and record holders like Janelle Rogers come through, and then Kenley and Alana, and then all the others that you talked about potentially being at the postseason spectrum.
Right.
Like that means a lot, I think, to what you guys have done in recruiting, but also in developing. And you're a huge developing person.
Yes,
you're not
absolutely.
somebody who just focuses only on recruiting.
Correct.
We hear you all the time talking about development.
Yep.
Where'd you learn that from? Where did that come from?
I mean, I think, and that's a great, again, I've been fortunate enough, like I said, this is my 23rd year of coaching. I've been at several different institutions along the way, and I've taken bits and pieces from those places. And I think one of the things that I've just really believe in is that we can always get better. And again, I think my superpower is being able to meet the student athletes where they're at and allow them an opportunity to just really just be. I know that sounds really simple, but just be. I think so many times we get caught up in the X's and O's and we want to be able to get there, but we've got to be okay with where we're at right now and then be able to kind of work forward. And our kids have done that. Again, I was that type of athlete, and I just really believe like we can continue to get better if we just stay focused and dial into what we're trying to do there. It's not easy, and not everybody does it, but we've, as a program, we have consistently gotten better each year, and people have been really successful in this program.
The question everybody wants to know: how often do you run with the team?
Never. It's funny. I did it was probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I did do some hurdles. I went over a couple hurdles, and the young ladies were like, "Coach, what are you doing?" I was like, "You know what? I don't really know what I was doing, but I was just trying to see if I still had it there." But no, I've given that up. I'm too competitive. Again, if I want to do it, if I'm going to do it, I want to be a high-level athlete.
That's fair.
Or not. There's no in between for me. And so again, I just haven't really committed to that yet.
You ended while you were on top.
100%.
That's respect.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
total
No one to stop. Know thyself, as I talk about a lot. Know thyself, So.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yep.
Well, Coach, we can't wait to see how the rest of the year goes,
Yep.
and the track and field championships as well. May 14th through the 16th again. Just check out ballstatesports.com for all the information there. Coach, appreciate you joining us here in studio, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Appreciate
That's
it.
head coach Adrian Wheatley from Ball State Track and Field joining us here in Studio B. Kirsten Rich, operations guru, joining us on the program here in a few minutes on This Week in Ball State Sports.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Behind every strong hip and knee. Behind every strong shoulder.
Good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
Welcome back inside This Week in Ball State Sports. We've had a really good show. Adrian Wheatley, Ball State track and field head coach, just joined us a few moments ago. So thank you to Coach Wheatley for hanging out with us a bit on the program. Next up, operations guru Kirsten Rich joining us from Noblesville, Indiana. Kirsten, appreciates your time amidst a crazy schedule getting the NCAA regionals ready for men's volleyball.
Yeah, of course.
What's it been like since the word came down that Ball State was going to host a regional for you?
It has been a whirlwind, that's for sure. So got word the selection show was 4 p.m. on Sunday. We had meetings starting at 8 p.m. that night. So we've been guns a-blazing since then. Got down to Noblesville, moved into the arena down here yesterday, and teams start practice today.
How much fun has it been, though? Like, this is a pretty big deal that Ball State's hosting a regional for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of fun just to see the way that Ball State and the guys have embraced this. It's the only regional this far east. Everybody else is being held out west or in Hawaii. So for Ball State to have this opportunity and for the guys to be able to essentially play at home for a chance to go to the Final Four has just been so amazing.
So if you are just tuning in with regard to the NCAA regionals, Ball State has the bye on Friday. Pepperdine and Fort Valley State will play one another, and then Ball State takes on the winner of that match. So you said it, Kirsten. They win one match, they're inside the Final Four, and they'll go out to LA.
Yeah, and I think that's just been the conversation from Coach Iandolo to the guys that I've been able to hear since they got here this morning is just like we need to focus on playing one match at a time. All we have to do is one match in advance, and I think they're really dialed into that, and they've bought into that, and it's just like any rest of the season for them, just focusing on their game plan for either Pepperdine or Fort Valley State, depending on how tomorrow goes.
Looking at what it took to get all of this taken care of, Kirsten, Innovation Mile down in Noblesville is the host site for it. What's that process been like on your end and the team's end to get this thing ready?
Yeah, Innovation Mile has been absolutely incredible. I could not thank Andrea Green, their assistant GM, Trisha Carlton, and McKenna McFarland anymore. They have been from day one in this process with us. They knew that it could be a very last minute decision, and it was. We found out Sunday, had to get contracts signed and everything ready to go to start moving in on Wednesday. But it's such a nice venue, and I just hope that a lot of people are able to come down here and experience this and experience the NCAA regional with the guys. And it's definitely somewhere I think if we have the opportunity, we would love to continue to look at expanding more events down here for Ball State.
Oh, is that a slight tease, or is that just a bucket list potential item?
I think just a bucket list. There's nothing on the docket right now, but I think just from the size of the venue and the atmosphere that it can provide our teams, and it's so central to any like visiting teams that could come in, getting a little bit closer to Indy, that I think it'd be a great idea. But we'll just have to wait and see. I don't get to make those decisions. I just run them when we do.
Kirsten Rich joining us live on This Week in Ball State Sports, talking about Ball State men's volleyball hosting the NCAA regionals this weekend. Friday, 7 o'clock, Pepperdine, Fort Valley State. Saturday, 6 o'clock, Ball State hosts the winner of those two teams. And Kirsten, when you look at Innovation Mile itself, you mentioned some of the people that have been instrumental in helping get this thing started, and you mentioned the venue, 3,800 seating capacity. I think the big question is tickets. How can people buy tickets for the regionals?
Yes, absolutely. So you can go through Ticketmaster. That is the partner that Innovation Mile uses. It's on our Ball State website also. So you can purchase those tickets for Friday or Saturday, or they will have walk-up options available in the box office starting 2 hours prior to each match. So whether you want to try and get them digitally or get that ticket when you get here, you will have that opportunity as well.
Had you ever been to Innovation Mile before this week?
For the site visit about 2 weeks ago, but no,
Before that, 2 weeks ago.
Not until we started talking about this opportunity and being able to host here. But it's definitely a venue that I think once you guys are able to get in and see, and Mick, you were here yesterday with us, it's incredible. And it's definitely somewhere that you'll want to come back and see, whether it's a boom event or I guess, see what else they try to bring in. Now, they've only been open since August, so they are just now starting to branch out. And to get an NCAA regional in here, I think will be really good just to get more eyes on the venue so they know what is possible.
This could be the breakout party for Innovation Mile, like you said, to host other events outside of just basketball. Kirsten, how much does it take to pull off an event like this, especially away from campus due to graduation happening this weekend?
Oh my goodness, it's been a lot, and I can't thank our staff at Ball State enough for that. We've been having to have a lot of like ticketing conversations, and we brought our marketing staff down here yesterday just to be able to see like, okay, are our graphics going to be able to adjust and register with the video board? And our stats crew came down to see how they were going to be able to get everything situated and maneuvered over. And it's been quite the feat. And I think it's just been a really great opportunity for us to kind of expand outside of our comfort zone of what it's like to host an event in our arena. But it's also, I mean, it's tested some of us too, right? It's put us to the brink. We're working day and night to try and make sure that this is as smooth as possible and is a great experience for these teams that are coming in.
Rumor has it that the Terraflex is making the trip down to Noblesville.
The Terraflex is down. It came in yesterday afternoon. We had our volleyball club team made the trip down, as well as Coach Miller Phillips and Darcy Tucker wasn't able to get down here. He had to go do some recruiting, but our women's staff was down here helping. The Terraflex is down. We are practicing on it today, and we'll be a go tomorrow.
That's coming up fast. Like when you say tomorrow is the first match of the NCAA regionals, that happens pretty quick after all this planning.
Yeah, like you said, when you move in yesterday and you get all the logistical things in order, and then you're playing matches 2 days later, and teams are arriving today to see the venue for the first time, it's crazy how quick we are able to make the turnaround happen.
Kirsten, from your perspective, you mentioned that Ball State's the only host outside of the West Coast teams, with the Hawaiis, the UCLAs, the Long Beach States of the world getting the other top 3 seeds. What do you think that means for Ball State to be that lone team outside of the West Coast to host a regional?
I think it just says a lot about our program in general, and it shows that a lot of the powerhouses in volleyball have been on that West Coast, right? You've got your UCLAs that's already set to host the national championship, and your Long Beaches, and to be able to bring even a school like Pepperdine, which was sitting right there really close to us in the RPI, it could have kind of gone either way with who got that host site, and be able to bring them out here to the Midwest. It just shows that volleyball is kind of making that transition here. And I think Indiana, especially, having now brought the boys volleyball into the IHSAA as a sanctioned sport, it shows that it's an up and coming sport that I don't think everybody realizes just how popular it is.
It's happening fast, and you mentioned the RPI rankings. Ball State 4, Pepperdine 5. So the margin was very slim between those two teams.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, it's been great. And I think that Pepperdine's probably going to come in here with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, wishing that they could have stayed at home versus making this trip out from California. But I think that just the way that our team played throughout the season and the perseverance that they had and how they played in conference play, especially, let alone the big wins against teams like Stanford in your non-con play, they set themselves up really well to have this opportunity. They did everything on the volleyball side of the game to earn this.
Well, Kirsten, we appreciate your time joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Thank you for the work that you're doing to help get the regional set. And if you have time, get some sleep this weekend.
Will do. We'll see you tomorrow down here.
We'll see you, Kirsten. Thank you so much for joining This Week in Ball State Sports. That's operations guru Kirsten Rich joining us from Innovation Mile down there in Noblesville. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Coach Wheatley, for joining us on the show this week, and Aiden Foster back in our network studios. That'll wrap it up for this week. Next week's our last show on This Week in Ball State Sports.